Welcome back in again, folks. Today I'm going to visit with my old friend Robin Dow. He is the CEO of Nevada Organic Phosphate. Those of you who are more investment minded on this, you see right here on the screen, there are symbols in both the US and Canada and ways in which you can get a hold of them. I've asked Robin to join me today to give you yet another preview of our very exciting upcoming Better in Our Backyard Mining and Energy Expo. It'll be held in the Twin Cities starting the 29th of September and run through the morning of October the 2nd. Needless to say, this is a huge imperative right now that we have in the U.S. to make sure that we have control over all the raw materials that we need going into the future. You all know or should know that we've been compromised over many decades. We depend too much on foreign sources for too many things that we need in our economy, that they're main building blocks every day. Not as often do we talk about agriculture in that sense, however, and we're going to talk about that today because one of the attractions, the main attraction really, with Nevada Organic Phosphate is it has a very unique project out in extreme northeastern Nevada which the company has been exploring and drilling now for some time with some initial great success. I've been covering it, of course, in a national investor. We've been covering it via strategic NPR as well, where we put out a lot of information on a company and help people to get better informed on it. And simply put, this is the unique fertilizer story in America. So we're excited to have Robin as one of our speakers upcoming at the Better in Our Backyard conference. If you've not already gotten in some information on it or made your plans to go, I urge you to do that. We're going to have state and federal elected officials, state and federal level regulators, tribal officials, engineering companies, mining companies, some other agriculture stories too. There are going to be a couple of them there. But a huge time in America where we've got a public imperative to get our heads back around how we're going to meet our needs for all different kinds of raw materials in the future. And I'm excited Robin's going to be there and explain how Nevada Organic Phosphate can literally check one of those boxes. And here's my longtime friend, Robin Dow, the CEO of Nevada Organic Phosphate. Robin, I sometimes say old friend, but you and I keep getting older. We don't need to rub it into each other.
I
We
had
both
my
have birthdays
76th
this month.
birthday yesterday. It's okay, Chris.
Right. But
Just keep getting better. I don't care about how old I am as long as I keep moving.
well, and we're like fine wine. We get better as we age.
It's absolutely true.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true.
Well, look, before you came on and the full version of this video, which again will be linked if you're only getting a snippet here, folks, so make sure that you look for that. I discussed the Murdock Mountain Project in Nevada. This is, of course, Nevada Organic Phosphate's flagship project. I visited there back in the spring. I was wowed by learning the geology and how this unique, and again, nothing like it in the US, literally. That's not hyperbole, literally how this came to be, and give us a quick reminder, Robin, of how this came under your purview.
Well, the geology is fairly simple. There used to be an ancient ocean that covered 5 states.
Yeah.
As it receded, it left sedimentary deposits. Our advantage is that at Murdock Mountain, that there's a ledge about 5,000 off 9,000 feet upside of the mountain, and it laid down this 30-kilometer long sedimentary layer that's about, in total, the phosphoric zone's about 30 meters in thickness, about 90 feet, of which the top 4 meters or 12 feet are the high grade. The rest of it, like the 10 to 12, 14%. The rest of it is 2 or 3% P2O5. It's still phosphate. It's just not rich enough for the direct application raw
Right.
rock that we laid down. And so the other thing to keep in mind is that while we're drilling, we've got 30 kilometers to do. Our drill permit right now allows us to drill area A, drill per lease application one of about 6 kilometers in length.
Okay.
So with hole 10 now and the results proving that we've got 4 kilometers of good 12%, 11, 12% P2O5, 4 meters deep, 12 feet along the strike. The question is, how wide is it? And we've done 100-meter step outs. So to give people an idea, it's 4 kilometers long, but it's a U.S. football field wide.
Mm,
Like it's 100 meters, 100 yards wide. So that's a football field. That's pretty wide,
yeah.
given that it's a consistent thickness throughout. It's not only consistent thickness, but the material itself, the phosphate, is homogeneous and contiguous. So every hole looks the same.
I mean, and again, folks, there's going to be a few links with these videos. If you want to dig deeper into this, we've done a lot of work. You know, both of our companies have been pounding the table on this unique story. And thankfully, for those who listened, especially to yours truly early on, the share price has gone up several times since this whole thing started. And it's still, I think, a pimple on a flea compared to what you got coming. So, bottom line here, before we get into the macro thing a little bit more, Robin. And for time's sake, you're looking, and so far so good, as I said in the introduction of the full version of the
Mhm.
video, you're looking at proving up sufficient size and scale to get the market, to get potential suitors, to get everybody to
Correct.
say, wow, this is not only a unique type of phosphate, that it's not chemical, it's not chemically bonded with anything. You just crush it, grind it, and ship it, as you've said. So in
Correct.
that quest, you're looking at a resource study and perhaps an economic study, even perhaps as early as late this year.
Well, we're going to, in the next couple of weeks, come to an agreement with a firm out of Brantford to do the 43-101 and the PEA on Area A, which is the 6 kilometers, which is a reasonable deal. If we could, our biggest problem right now, there's not a lot of water, and getting drillers to deal with it is a problem as well. We should have that solved by the end of August. But we can drill right through September and October and into November. So we can get the whole the 9 holes that's still left to drill in that period of time to give us a complete idea of how long it is, how wide it is. And then with the 43-101, how many tons and what it looks like geologically, and then the PEA, the preliminary economic assessment of how you'd mine it, what the cost would be, what it would sell for, what the value is, and we give a value, and we'll have that by Christmas,
Great
I
stuff.
would think.
That's great.
It got some indications earlier, so it's coming. The key for us to communicate with everybody is that this is not gold or silver. You're not chasing wild ass veins that are skinny here and not so
Yeah,
skinny there. This is a chocolate bar,
right.
right? And it's the same thickness for 30 kilometers.
Yeah,
And it's the same chocolate. It
yeah,
doesn't change in consistency. It doesn't change any variables. It's all the same homogeneous and contiguous chocolate bar from hole drill hole number one right through the whole 30 kilometers.
yeah,
So it's going to be quick. You
yeah.
don't have to worry about really trying to find it. It's there,
Yeah.
it's consistent, and we can see in the sampling we're doing in the other 3 lease applications that some areas are actually coming out much better than what we have now.
Right.
So there's a lot of upside that we will talk about in the days to come. So it could turn out to be very large. And because you're going to mine it like a coal seam, where it's consistent and you're producing it, you're just grinding it up at face, taking it out on a conveyor belt, put it in trucks, take it down to Montello, grind it up, bag it up, and ship it out. Uh, it's very, very simple. People should not make it more complex than it is.
Well, and that's among the reasons why this is such a very unique project. Not only the geology and the nature of this raw organic phosphate, but also the simple economics, if all goes well, as
Mhm.
you've just described it, no question. I want to segue quick, Robin, for a few minutes into our Better in Our Backyard conference coming up, at
Yes,
which I'm very pleased that you're going to be there and tell the
we'll
story.
be there.
Yeah, and as I've said to folks, and I'm going to be leading off the entire conference with my new Fangs presentation. I'll save that particular subject for a future commercial message
Mhm.
ahead of the conference. But one of those A's in the new Fangs is agriculture.
Yes.
And a lot of people just don't understand that besides the terrible shortages and deficits, public policy wise, engineering wise, mining wise, downstream, everything that we have with so
Mhm.
many critical minerals, you got to include fertilizer in that. The average person doesn't understand that. And so I'm glad that we've got this high profile story such as yours of a key fertilizer input. And I'm curious to what extent so far in this journey you're starting to get some people that understand this, that fertilizer is just as critical as copper or tungsten or antimony.
We have a lot of large retail shareholders. The brokers understand it in Canada, and Boxwood Harris has done a good job for us in the US. We've got 30, 35 family offices that follow us. I think what's important too is that unlike MAP and DAP, mono and diammonium phosphate that Idofos produces, Nutrien, Monsanto, Mosaic produce in Canada, the United States,
Right.
and produce it in Morocco and China and India. This sedimentary deposit we have is going to be the only one in the world.
Mhm.
There are none other that we can find. There may be some, certainly not of this size. So there are other organic deposits that are not sedimentary, like IKEA in southern Brazil
Right.
has sort of a third the size of ours, but it's our carbonatite that's rotted over time. So they're scraping off the top, the phosphate, and then selling that as organic fertilizer, which it is.
Mhm.
But it's not sedimentary. It's not the same francolite that we have that's easy amenable. We have a very special kind of francolite that really is beneficial to the crops. It's not just phosphate. There's 25 other micronutrients that come with it that you don't find in MAP and DAP. I like to say it's the full meal deal. You don't only get you get the big bang with phosphate. You get a lot of calcium, 28% calcium, which is very positive for the plant. Then all the minor nutrients that make your plants shine, that grow, make your fruit palatable, that really do all the important things for the plant that not just phosphate does, but we provide
Right.
it, others don't. So
Well, and
it's
when I was there back in the spring, and I've said this to you before, you and I have done a couple other videos that people will
Mhm.
find the links to. It blew me away to have explained to me very capably by your team exactly what you're saying, Robin, and that is the really this almost a supercharged organic. This is more just phosphate, like you said. And the properties of this thing, the nature of the deposit, and so forth, it's really mind blowing that something this unique can be found. And again, you're in a process of proving the scale of this, and right here in the good old USA.
yes. Well,
Yeah,
our message is getting out slowly. Certainly, the government of Nevada is aware of it.
yeah.
Their ag department's aware of it. The message is slowly getting throughout uh, the Nevada government to understand what's happening and try to get through Better in Our Backyard to the Department of Interior in Washington to get the message out too. So this is taking time, but the Department of Ag in Nevada raised an issue with our consultant there the other day. They said, well, when Leo told them that, you know, our lovely Secretary of Agriculture is doing an amazing job as Secretary of Agriculture, Brooks Rollins, announced they got, what, a $50 billion fund,
Mhm.
and Nevada's going to see how much of that will come down to the state level.
Nice, nice. Well, good
So
stuff,
early
folks.
days,
Yeah,
very
folks.
early days.
This is a great story. I urge you to check it out, whether you're an investor, whether this is a public policy thing, whether both. And again, last but not least, make sure you come and hear Robin and a lot of the rest of us. We've already got just about everything sold out as far as speakers, as far as companies are concerned. We almost doubled the size of the conference from last year, and so it's nice that we're so far to having it sold out again here not, almost 2 months before the date that the conference occurs. So I'm glad that you're on board for that. Looking forward to seeing you again, my friend.
Wouldn't miss it.
Take care. And folks, again, the
Thank
registration
you.
will be along with the other notes here too. Thanks, Robin.